Welcome to Macquarie University's bushtucker garden. This garden is on Darug land, and we pay our respects to Aboriginal elders past, present and emerging. My name is Samantha Newton and I'm the Arboretum Coordinator at Macquarie University. This garden was created in 2010 in consultation with Willunga Muru and based on initial sketches and designs by Dave Harrington. The garden features plants that are mostly native to the east coast of Australia, so right from the border with Victoria right up to southeast Queensland. This building behind the garden is very tall and provides a lot of shade. So the garden is actually in shade for 9 months of the year. So the plants that we have here are very tolerant of shade and grow very well in rainforest conditions. Along the front here, we have a number of plants that have very strong smell in the leaves. This plant here is the aniseed myrtle, Bacchausia anisata. And it has a very strong aniseed smell. It's used for flavouring food. Next to it, we have the lemon-scented tea tree, Leptospermum petersonii. Now, this is a very beautiful tree, but it has a really nice lemon scent to the leaves, which can be used to flavour a variety of foods. Now, these plants and a number of other plants in the garden have different smells and different oils in the leaves. Now, these oils have flavourings and they make food taste better or smell nicer, but a lot of the plants also have oils that can be used for medicinal purposes. And a lot of the research that we're doing at Macquarie University is looking into these properties. This part of the garden, you can see down here we have the native spinach or warrigal greens. Now, this plant is used just like spinach. You can eat it as a leafy green vegetable, but it has oxalic acid in the leaves. So like the old-fashioned spinach, we need to actually cook the spinach in water, quickly boiling it before we can eat it. But otherwise it has similar properties to spinach and is a very rich source of vitamins and minerals. The native raspberry is a very popular plant in our bushtucker garden. It produces berries that are like a crunchy raspberry. So they're very juicy but also very crunchy, and you can eat them straight off the bush. They're very tasty. The native ginger is a very versatile plant. You can't tell from this particular specimen, but this is the flower head. And then after the flowers, we get seeds that are blue, hard case, and the pith within those seeds is used to flavour water to make it a sweet drink or a lemony flavoured drink. The rhizomes of the native ginger can be used in a similar way. They don't have a stronger flavour as the ginger that we're familiar with, but they can be used in cooking. And then the leaves are used to wrap food for cooking and can also be used to serve food. So this is a very versatile plant. So this is the macadamia. It's native to northeast New South Wales and southeast Queensland, and it's the most popular of the bush foods that Australia produces. This is the lemon myrtle, Bacchausia citriodora. It is one of the most popular plants in the garden. The leaves have a very strong lemon smell, almost like a sherbet lemon, and it can be used to flavour both savoury and sweet dishes. This tree can grow up to 30 metres, so this is a very young tree. It's very popular. Now, one of the important things about some of these plants is that some of them have medicinal properties that we're still learning about. We're still extracting information about the biochemical effect of some of these different plants. But with native plants, there is an enormous diversity. So plants within the same species have an enormous diversity in how they grow. So some plants of the same species will have more chemicals and more smell or more flavour than others. And this also changes not just from plant to plant, but across the seasons. So different plants are more useful as a medicine in one part of the year and not useful at all or even dangerous in another part of the year. So a lot of the research that needs to happen and that is happening here at Macquarie University is how those properties vary. What is the active property of a plant and when is it most active? When is the plant producing that active chemical? This tree is the sandpaper fig, Ficus coronata. It's native to the Sydney region and grows in gullies, in sheltered, high moisture areas. Now, it's called the sandpaper fig because the leaves actually feel like sandpaper, and they can be used for doing that final smoothing on any wooden tool or container and make it feel really nice. Now, it also produces edible fruit. So you can see here, these are the small figs. Now, these figs, even though they're small, they're probably the tastiest of the Australian native figs. And I've actually harvested these one year and just cooked them in a little bit of sugar and butter, and they were absolutely delicious. So when they're ripe, they turn a really deep reddish bronze colour. They're green at the moment, so they're not ripe. They'll be ripe in a few weeks or a couple of months. This tree here is the river peppermint, Eucalyptus elata. We have several trees on campus, which you can see behind me, and also we have other trees across the campus. Being called the river peppermint, common name, gives you an idea of where to find it and what you can expect from the tree. So it likes to grow near water, so you often find this along rivers in Australia. And the leaves smell quite strongly of both peppermint and eucalyptus together. Now this makes this a very important plant, having these oils rich in the leaves. So the peppermint and eucalyptus, many of you would know that you can use these oils either in a product or just on hot water to help clear your breathing passages. So it helps decongest your chest if it's clogged up, and it helps make breathing easier. And so this is a very important medicine, and one that is around the world. You'll find eucalyptus oil in products all around the world to help make breathing easier. And also the peppermint oil is also an antiviral and an antibacterial. So it's a very important oil. Now this particular tree, the river peppermint, is not the one where we commercially get eucalyptus oil from. That's the southern blue gum or the Tasmanian blue gum. So the oil that we find in the shops and in products comes from the Tasmanian blue gum. But this tree is used locally and is a very important source of both piperol, the peppermint oil, and eucalyptol, the eucalyptus oil. It's also a very beautiful plant. You can just see the flower buds coming out now, and they are very pretty white flowers, and they'll be coming out soon.